What is up, everybody? I am NerdRage36, back with another pickups video. So, let's get right into it. Starting off with Serious Sam 1, the home console port of the original game on the original Xbox. And funny thing is, I already technically played this game because I played through the first two games and Serious Sam 3 BFE via the HD collection on the 360 over there. Something was a little interesting to me, though, because at the time I was playing that game, I discovered the strategy guide for the original Xbox version with this exact box art. And I'm like, oh, there was another console port of the game back in the day? That's interesting. And so I kind of wanted to look into this game, and then I read the manual and found out there's no quick saving in this. There's quick saving in the HD collection, and that's one of the reasons I was able to get through it, even though it still kicked my ass something fierce. So, I don't know if they toned the difficulty down for the original Xbox port, or if it's just as hard and I need to get even better. Although, with the strategy guide, I'm guessing I'll be able to find not only more powerful weapons or more health upgrades, but probably manual save points throughout the levels where, like, I'll get through a horde or just barely scrape by, rush back to it, save, keep going, go back, save until I find the next save point. And I know that's kind of, I don't know if it's considered cheap or like wussing out, like constantly going back to save scum, but I was able to get through Serious Sam HD once. I have no idea if I'll be able to get through this version, but it's cool to have it. Now, the rest of the pickups I found this weekend, you might as well just call the rest of this video the Happy Console Gamer Mr. Millennium Special, because it all started with I found one game, a game that I was already interested in checking out, but it was a game that he talks about a lot on his show. And then suddenly I'm finding another game that he's talked about, and it's like, I guess I'm doing this now. And it's not even that like I'm actively searching for all the games he would recommend. I do always like keep an eye out because I respect his opinion, and I definitely like a lot of the same genres he does. But it wasn't something I'm actively doing all the time. It just so happened to occur that way. So, starting off with Devil May Cry. Yeah, speaking of high difficulty, like with Serious Sam over there, I know that this game is also going to kick my ass something fierce. But much like with Serious Sam, I have the strategy guide for it. I bought that a few months ago before I started recording again. And this is one of those, like, it is a quintessential Capcom game, a quintessential PS2 game. It's just something that, like, even if, because for the longest time, I was never into high difficulty. I'm pretty sure someone in the comments that went to high school with me can attest to that. But it's one of those things that, and maybe I'll talk about this in a later video, but I have started getting more and more acclimated to old school difficulty, or at least just higher difficulty than more modern stuff, or at least more modern outside of the Souls series. That's another topic altogether. But I've gotten through a lot of difficult games over the past year and some change, and a few years before that. Like it wasn't all back to back. So a younger me would have probably passed up on this game just because of how notorious it is for high difficulty. But now, on top of just like wanting to have it for the PS2 collection, just because like it's such an iconic series for the platform, I want to cut my teeth on this. I want to see how well I could do in this game. And it's probably not going to be that well. I'm definitely going to rage quit every once in a while, but who knows? We will see. Up next, you'll probably recognize this if you watched Johnny's Top 50 RPGs video, Breath of Fire on the Super Nintendo. I gotta be honest, I had no idea I would encounter this game just like randomly out in the wild. I figured this would be just one of those games that I'd have to actively search for, but I literally just like stumbled across it. It is insane. And I don't know too much about the series. I know that it's considered. Well, I mean, I don't even know how well it is considered. I mean, Johnny's talked about this game and Breath of Fire 4. Alpha's talked about Breath of Fire 3 quite a lot. But it's just one of those things that, like, it's like it was in the back of my mind every once in a while. I'll think about it if I rewatch Johnny's video. But then suddenly I'm just out and about and poof, it appears. And not even for that much money. It was like, okay, why not? And I like RPGs. This one, from the footage I've seen, this one seems like it's... I'm not going to say easier than most Super Nintendo RPGs, but definitely more well-balanced, or at the very least, more accessible, like more beginner-friendly. I'm honestly not too sure, just based off the little footage that I've seen of it, but it's a Super Nintendo game. It's probably going to be really good. My only question is, where am I going to put this in my Super Nintendo collection? Because... I'm not sure how many of you know this, but it's a game, like, it says, like, hang on, focus camera. It's published by Squaresoft, as you can see, but it's actually developed, much like Devil May Cry, by Capcom. So where am I going to put this? Am I going to put it with Mega Man and Super Ghouls and Ghosts, or am I going to put it in with the Square games? Yeah, I've been getting a lot of Capcom games, I've just noticed. And finally, the first game that I found that kind of stumbled into just finding more and more games that Johnny's talked about. Shenmue 1 on the Dreamcast. Now, I know there's the HD, not the HD collection of 1 and 2 on modern platforms, and I might pick that up just for convenience sake. But much like with what I talked about with Mega Man X and a few other things, this is one of those games that you want to play at least once on the original hardware, just because it's so iconic for the era. It's so iconic for the platform, and again, just out of respect for gaming history. And one of the other reasons that I picked this up specifically, like, check this out. So, like, it's probably one of the best conditioned games I've ever encountered in like the secondhand market. Like, just, it's amazing how pristine this copy is. Like, it comes with both manuals, like the regular manual and the online manual. And apparently there was some online features, which obviously aren't accessible anymore. But most importantly, look at the condition of the discs. Disc 1. Disc 2. Disc 3. And even the passport disc, which is for all the online stuff. Like seriously, this is the most. Not only is it a complete, this copy of the game complete, but it's also in such pristine condition that, like, I'm shocked I was able to find it at the place that I did. It was at Half Price Books, by the way. Just like. Again, much like with Breath of Fire, this is something I half expected to run into at a convention, or only be able to acquire at a convention, not just run into it, but just out in the wild, complete as complete can get, although it's not the special edition that came with the soundtrack. I've never heard of the Shenmue soundtrack, so I can't say whether or not that was a missed opportunity for me. But like as complete as possible for the standard edition, pristine condition discs, an iconic game for a platform I genuinely enjoy. Like, I really like the Dreamcast. Like, that was something that Alpha's videos turned me on to, and it just... I felt like justified in owning a Dreamcast only with a handful of games, and now I'm getting a lot more for them. A lot more for it. Yeah. But this had to be a game that I pick up. Like, even just for authenticity and for respect for gaming history, this was a must for me. And like I said, this was the first game I found this weekend, and then that led me to acquiring Devil May Cry and Breath of Fire. It's like, I hear Johnny talk about these games a lot. I mean, not too much Devil May Cry anymore. I believe that was in his 2001 quote, one of the best years of gaming video. But no, seriously, getting these 3 games within like the same duration of time, and they all just so happen to be games that I have heard Johnny recommend, and it's like, you know what, I'll take a look whenever I can. Especially with like Shenmue and Breath of Fire, it's like whenever I can. Devil May Cry was easy to find, but it's just the fact that I got these all within the same weekend. It's pretty funny. And topping that off, he's never talked about this game before, but it's just cool to finally have it. The original version of the game, outside of the PC release. But yeah, that's some cool games, some really hard games, and some iconic games. So this was one hell of a weekend. So with all that, I am NerdRage36, and I'll see you later.